Hello everybody, my name is Bigpod and today we're going to do another reaction. So, guess what started again? Linux Challenge by Linus Tech Tips with Linus himself. So, apparently it's gonna be an interesting one. So I'm gonna go through the whole series with you guys when they drop, and the first episode is this. Pre-programmed with 2 or 3 parts, and I'm gonna go through all three parts together with you guys, and wish me luck to not get mad and yell at the top of my lungs, because if it is like the last challenge, I don't know if I'm gonna be very happy, because I wouldn't say Luke was amazing as always. Luke has, well, he's at least development manager. He has at least a bit of mind. Linus, on the other hand, I wouldn't say he was malicious per se, at least not actively malicious. But I think at the end of the day, he wasn't giving Linux a fair shot. He wasn't willing to change certain things he was used to, and he wouldn't budge on certain things. Like, for example, his gripes about GitHub. They were, I want to use certain words, but I won't, at least not yet. So let's dive into the next one and see what it's all about. And before we do that, I'm gonna crack open a cold one, and we shall kick back, relax, and watch this video and react. I really do like that sound. And now the other sound. Oh no, no good foam. I think I went bad with the pour. But this is very cold. So I said, let's kick back and watch. I'm gonna put my feet up. Just check. Here we go.
Copilot, you need to opt out. Windows update. You will own
Wow,
nothing and
that's
be
a nightmare.
happy.
Oh, thank goodness it was just a dream.
A nightmare.
For a second there, I thought Windows really was getting worse.
It wasn't a dream. Sorry, I was just scared for my privacy. I didn't want to sleep in my own bed anymore.
What are you doing here?
I heard that Linus was going to save us.
Wow.
Linux, Elijah, not Linus. He does have a valid concern, though. With Microsoft adding more and more bloat that negatively impacts the user experience and user privacy on Windows, more people than ever are asking themselves.
Recall was in theory a good idea. Problem was it is in practice a bad idea. Like, technology of retracing your steps, of seeing what you did, and drawing AI drawing based on the context of your previous actions, which it might not have directly watched, can see the memory of it, is not a stupid idea. Problem is, it is a high privacy and security nightmare. Remember, most AIs today are not on model, are not on device.
What can I do? Well, there's those Windows debloating scripts, but those aren't quite the silver bullet that they're made out to be, and
Please do not run Windows debloating scripts, or at least if you do run them, know what you're running. They are a security nightmare, as well. You're doing things as an administrator and looking into things that are below at a certain level, and it can basically ruin everything for you, the whole operating system, or even install malware without you ever knowing. So I recommend you watch what you're doing with those debloat scripts, read them, and if you don't know how to read them, do not run them.
There is Mac, but that's not a great solution for gamers. That is where Linux comes in, as the rest of the world enshittifies thanks to the incredible open source.
I hate the word enshittification and everything it stands for. Everybody else calls it business, by the way. It's just a fancy new word for business processes about I just won't. It's a battle I lost multiple times. Let's go on.
Source community and corporate sponsors like Valve, Linux just keeps getting better. And I think it's high time that I try once again to make the switch. And he's joining me. Hey, Elijah, wake up, let's go.
What? But tons of games I play don't work on Linux.
Sure, but there's thousands of titles that do work. And besides, it's only a month.
Those are games on Steam. Those are not games that run. At least if I remember correctly. I don't remember that. I might be wrong.
That is unless you discover that you love it so much you don't even want to play Fortnite anymore. Maybe the only 90s you'll want to crank are these 90-degree segues to our sponsor.
Even his editor is making fun of him. Yes, do as I say. Yeah.
The first and possibly biggest hurdle when it comes to embracing that open source life is the overwhelming number of options. Now, for some folks, the idea of having so many choices, each
those 600, it's probably 6,000. But that shouldn't stop you. If you look at things, if you look at few YouTube videos, actually do some research, which, by the way, you're gonna have to do if you're gonna be switching to Linux, no matter what. It's not like now that you're on Linux, you don't need to think. You still have to do some research. So doing research is a good thing. But I have a stupid ass feeling he's gonna do exactly what he did the previous time. And that's not a good idea. Let's be honest.
Catering to a specific user or use case is amazing, and it is, especially if you love to tinker. But for everyone else...
But that's not something you should care about when going into Linux. It's your portal. But you should probably strive to go to something more generic, because you probably aren't just a gamer. You don't need an appliance. You need a computer operating system. Not a joke like macOS.
Choice paralysis is a real thing, and with literally dozens of viable options for Linux distros.
Okay, let's see if I even recognize many. Manjaro, CashOS, SteamOS, Kubuntu, Ubuntu, Nobara, Endeavor, Fedora, Bazzite. Ooh, this side I know everything. Mint, I have no idea what this is. Chimera OS. This is, oh god, pop exclamation mark underscore OS. And this I think might be Draugr OS. But this, I have no idea. Oh, and this. Is one of these Pika OS maybe? Or some other thing like that? I have no idea. This to me more looks like a logo for a service you all probably know, GitLab.
Not to mention the social pressure that comes from picking the wrong one. Options for Linux distros, not to mention the social pressure that comes from picking the wrong one.
I'm not even gonna say I probably know some of these characters.
Last time we did
in
this,
between.
over 4 years ago, I called out.
Holy frick. that long since the last Linux challenge. Oh wow.
how terrible these listicle sites are. And so did many others in the Linux community. And right out of the gate,
No.
Oh look,
These are
Chris.
just terrible,
From Chris
terrible
Timeless Tech.
options. I don't expect much from this article.
let's have
Oh. And that was Michael Tonnell.
a look and see if they've improved. Oh, XDA's article is from less than a month ago, though. And of course, the
And yes, he's going for a listicle. Listicles aren't made for you to actually be informed. They're made for you to spend time on the site and for the site to rank higher in search. That's all they are for. And because they are easy thing to do on the Friday afternoon when nothing is happening.
very first one
Tech-wise.
is one I haven't even heard of. Nobara Linux.
Nobara Linux is by the guy who makes Proton G. I don't care about Proton G, but people use it.
Built on Fedora. Quality of life tweaks.
And when it comes to actually like Nobara is a pretty good choice. Again, Fedora, which should be your only choice really if you're not tech guy,
Controller support.
which you might wanna go with stupid ass choice like Arch. And with extension Casio.
Out of the box. Pop OS.
Why do people put Pop OS today or yesterday or this year or last year on a list? Is not Pop OS freaking broken because they use Cosmic? Why?
Fedora is on here.
Yay.
OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. Catchy
Zusa. Okay.
OS. This I've heard of. Endeavor OS. Ubuntu. Good lord.
Only benefit of CashOS is the fact that it has recompiled packages. And that's the only benefit. Because performance is probably 1% better to normal Arch. And is only really seeable over a large period of time. However, it probably is far more performant to Basite, which purposefully goes for higher set of possible packages, like possible to be used on with lower friction for the developers.
Lord, you've hardly narrowed it down, bud. Fedora KDE. Straight up, that's it.
Gaming on Linux. Now that's someone who you should be listening to. And like that's it. Fedora Linux. Boom. He is right.
No pros and cons of anything else, just go for it. Unless you're going handheld, then
Liam is good at this. He knows what he's doing far more than any of those listicle authors put together. And that's your primary choice, should be Basite. Basite. Go Basite.
Basite. I'd really like a distro I can use across all my devices though, so that's AMD, NVIDIA, handheld,
Oh, God.
and desktop.
Who the fuck said Basite doesn't work on desktop? It is literally made to be SteamOS, which is console-like, and scale that down to be desktop and console mode at the same time to be parity, not one more than the other.
If that happens. Pop OS is the easiest.
Ah.
There's shockingly little overlap on these. I'm on my 4th article now.
Again, of course, this isn't made to be for you to learn something from it. And yes, I need to grab a drink, watch some more, because we're not even 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, and I'm already angry and already 15 minutes into the video, which after that it's probably going to be like 10, but you know what I mean.
And 3 of the 6 options are ones that I haven't seen yet. Holo ISO, Garuda Linux, and Manjaro. Of course, Googling the answer is basically boomer behavior now. If I wanted to do my
Oh. Was that birthing Garuda? Possibly.
thing.
Possibly.
I want to role play as a typical tech-interested gamer who's looking to make the switch.
Oh no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no. I didn't even think what that was in the background. Until he started saying that and was like, wait, that's it in the background. And I do remember him saying on eventually he's gonna do that. Oh god, he's using listicle on steroids GPT.
I gotta fire up ChatGPT and see what OpenAI has to say on the subject.
It's not OpenAI who has to say something. It's predictive model, which is very likely trained on those same listicles. That's why I said listicle on steroids.
Giving it an essay there?
Well, I'm giving it as much information as I feel it needs to give me a good recommendation.
Exactly.
I want to make the switch to Linux. I have a variety of PCs, each with different needs,
Nice.
and ideally, I could find a distro that works for all of them.
If he could write, give me a shit Linux distro, and he would probably get same results.
Recommendation number 1, Pop! OS, Ubuntu LTS with game mode.
Actually, good choice.
Maybe not the greatest recommendation if it doesn't know what hardware I'm using.
You're gonna be dealing with hardware no matter what. It is a computer. It has drivers on Windows, on Linux, not on macOS because you're not allowed to plug in other hardware. On Linux, on Windows. Like, sure, I'm not gonna install a graphics card driver. I'm gonna get one with Windows updates. It's gonna be outdated by years, at least months, if not years. That's not a solution. So thinking you're gonna get a Linux that is pre-prepared with all hardware drivers is stupid. And yeah, that it is possible. My personal system, operating system, is the same across my AMD, my NVIDIA systems, my Intel systems, is exactly the same. I don't make a difference. I have NVIDIA drivers installed on my laptop that has an Intel iGPU. Simple. But that's because I made it for me. It's not something it should have by everybody.
Right there. Cons. You have to manually install drivers.
Oh no!
Manjaro comes up again. Fedora starts giving me a whole how-to for some of the systems. Tips for smooth multi-machine use. Use a single desktop environment.
Exactly.
And the same one across different machines. Bottom.
Yes. Use the same desktop environment. And even if you manage someone else's machine, if they do not use different desktop environment somewhere else, just give them the same thing you have. Unless it's something stupid like Hyperland. You don't want to manage that for somebody who's like 6 or 30 or 66.
Line. Pop! OS. I don't know if I'm sure about that. Kinda got
Sorry
me
for
wrong
that.
last time.
My approach was to go to Reddit, and I wanted to find someone that fit a similar profile as me. And I just basically searched for what got the most up.
I'm sure about that. Kind of got burned by them last time.
Now back to regularly scheduled content with Elijah, who I have a very sneaking feeling will be doing things a lot better. How do I have that sneaking feeling? He seems like the kind of guy who wouldn't pick Pop! OS and then promptly delete the desktop environment because he didn't read. And sorry for those noises from my microphone. I really had to do that.
Approach was to go to Reddit, and I wanted to find someone that fit a similar profile as me. And I just basically searched for what got the most
fancy
updates.
Reddit.
But when I narrowed it down to gaming distros, there was really only a handful that were commonly recommended to me these days. Manjaro, Chimera OS, Cashy OS, Bazite, and pop !_OS.
Wait, did he say pop explanation mark? Now that's a good one. And that's gonna be my next naming for pop was pop explanation mark underscore OS.
Chimera OS, Cashy OS, Bazite, and pop !_OS. If your preferred
Oh,
flavor was
explanation mark. Right in the middle.
wasn't on that list, I promise it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that I didn't come across many recommendations for it. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of those 5.
Chimera OS is cool, but seems to prioritize being more of a console-like experience, which is not really what I'm going for. And the same goes for SteamOS. I mean, it's still the one that I think is most
Do not
likely
use
to usher
SteamOS.
in the year of the Linux.
No, it won't. SteamOS will remain appliance operating system, and do not install SteamOS unless you're really sure what you're doing. That's why Bazite exists. Right? If you don't think right, you should just listen to me.
Desktop, and Valve has promised to continue chipping away at the desktop experience, but it's still very much big picture first. Not to mention that the limited hardware
that's
support
not
is going to be a challenge
bad.
for,
Not
I
that
don't
it's
know,
this.
90% of desktop users, including my downstairs PC, which I'm also migrating this time to ensure that my immersion is complete.
For Manjaro and Cashy OS, both based on Arch by the way, Manjaro's been around for several years at this point, meaning there's tons of documentation online or other independent.
I said I won't do it, but I'm going to. Why do we have to say, by the way, every time we say Arch? Are we that stupid? I don't care how many times people like to say, I run Arch, by the way. The point of the whole sentence, the point is, the point of that sentence, if you do not know, is, at least to me, and to vast majority of people, that you hold yourself to the higher degree by saying, I run Arch, by the way. That you hold yourself to a higher degree of elitism by running Arch. Because now you're more elitist because you run a, shall we say, a complex, shall we say, a slightly more complexer operating system than what you ran before. Because you have to do things by hand.
YouTubers have made videos and guides. It would make hopefully getting things working nice and easy. Cashy OS is relatively new,
sound
but
logic.
because it's new, it kind of has the same thing. Tons of people are covering it and making guides online about
Sound
using
logic.
it. Both of those could be a bonus for helping me get through this month.
Like I mentioned before, Pop! OS screwed me over pretty good last time. Though,
Yes.
from my understanding, that was an insane bug.
That was an insane bug that was essentially a race condition. And I'm not gonna go into it, but let's just say, holy crap, did he manage to hit it.
It was present for less than 24 hours, and I just happened to run up against. In general, it's known to provide a very friendly experience for new users, and it uses Ubuntu as a base, which can make it a little easier to find
Why is he
guides
saying? Why is he
and
talking so much
resources.
about
Last but not
Pop
least, there's Bazite, which is explicitly gaining
Explanation
and has
mark
gained
underscore OS.
serious momentum over its short 3-year
That.
history, thanks to the baked-in support for HDR and variable
That.
refresh rate, easy integration with non-Steam launchers, and emulation-friendly features. It's based on Fedora, which doesn't quite have the same normie install base as Ubuntu, but it's based on refresh rate, easy.
Wait. Why does that say Xbox Game Pass via Battle.net? Am I missing something in the Battle.net in regards to Xbox Game Pass? I could be. I just run games through Battle.net. I don't know, so I could be wrong. But yeah, Ubisoft Connect, Battle.net, those things are awesome.
The integration
Let's go
with
on.
non-Steam launchers and emulation-friendly features. It's based on Fedora, which doesn't quite have the same normie
Yes.
install base as Ubuntu, but it is still a
As Ubuntu, yes, but as Ubuntu, yes, I don't have such a norm install, but you aren't a normal person, by the way. You're a slightly better than a normie. At which point Fedora makes more sense because Fedora is actually better than Ubuntu at almost everything except GNOME.
Major distro, meaning hopefully it shouldn't be too hard to find support again.
On the subject of support, there's no real reason that Elijah and I would have to figure any of this out on our own. We could easily use our industry contacts.
I'll probably
to help
cut
with
this.
Everything from choosing a distro to even getting a bug fix implemented in real time. But to me, that kind of ruins the spirit of the challenge. I mean, it's not like the average person would be able to contact Linus Torvalds for help recompiling the kernel, you know?
With all of that in mind, I'm going with Bazzite. Specifically the KDE desktop
Yay.
environment. One, it's the cool new kid on the block. Two, Bazzite's
Thank you,
documentation
Elijah.
seemed slightly easier to parse through, which for me is a huge W. And three, while it might be a little bit more limiting. Now, some of you may remember from my AMD upgrade 2 years ago, I actually installed Pop! OS at the end. Spoiler alert, I haven't been using it. I had an issue with my Go XLR, and I spent way too long trying to figure it out that I ended up defaulting back to Windows 11. It's also worth mentioning that I'm only going to be swapping over my gaming PC to Linux, not my streaming PC. I can't afford to have any issues with that, and right now,
Yep.
it just works. And besides, all I hit is go live anyways. But who knows, if this goes well, maybe I'll be considering swapping that one over.
I, on the other hand, will be converting all of my PCs, which means that I need something that's compatible with both GeForce and Radeon GPUs. I will be converting all of my PCs to, yeah, that's where the script ends. I have to actually decide now. I'm going with Pop! OS. Just because it blew up on me once doesn't mean it'll blow up on me again. I'm gonna follow
Linus. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Yeah, any other time I would say you're right. It probably shouldn't. But Pop! OS, exclamation mark underscore OS is such a bad condition right now. I don't know. Like, and none of those listicles told you because that's the extent of your research. Reading a listicle about it, or couple of listicles on that, reading a gaming on Linux article you disregarded, and you asked chat listicle on Steroids GPT. Why didn't you ask her what's the current states of pop underscore pop explanation mark underscore OS? Because if you did, you would probably learn it's a shit show right now because of their move to Cosmic. They're probably just fine a year from now. Or maybe even half a year from now. But this is essentially the first release of Cosmic, which is essentially an extended beta. But let's continue before I get additionally mad, because this is not gonna end well. I bet the difference between our two contenders will be not like night and day. That's very little. Like night and the polar day.
ChatGPT's recommendation here. I'm going to start with one machine, get everything going the way
At
that I
least
want,
that.
and then assuming that goes well, I'm going to stick with Pop! OS. Okay, so who nailed this? ChatGPT got the way I was already leaning. Pop! OS was the first recommendation from InterServer, whatever this is. NVIDIA drivers handled cleanly. Okay.
Oh wow. He actually takes stock of what those things say. Really genius, Linus. I do actually think you might be malicious here.
Pop! OS. Drive me, daddy.
What, you guys started without me? My side of the...
Yes. Yay, we have somebody who knows what they're doing. I am willing to bet This guy will have a completely problem-free experience without even hearing anything from him. Okay, he probably will have a problem. Who doesn't? But you know what I mean. Few bugs here and there, but bugs. Not stupid shit.
This challenge probably won't be quite as bad as Linus's, since I've been using Arch on my laptop for a while now, by the way, and I've gotten pretty comfortable with it. That being said, my use case on my laptop is fairly limited, so this is an expansion forward. I'm in, and I'm going with Cashy OS. The whole reason...
Okay, he is Arch Linux user. Casio OS makes actual sense for him. Despite my reticence towards Arch and its derivatives, the fact that he is using Casio OS for gaming in combination with the fact that he was previously using Arch is just good. It's Arch on steroids.
why I've been running Arch on my laptop was to try to demystify and defang the scary experience of Linux for some people, because I wanted to show, like, look, I'm going to put very little effort into this, to be completely honest, and I expect it's mostly going to go okay. But the reason for that was because my experience was limited mostly to a browser. So I kind of want to continue the Arch experiments, but in a way that the community is mostly flagging right now as better for gaming, which is going the Cashy direction. I still love Linux Mint, still use it in a couple spots here or there, just because I find it so easy to get set up and going. But
I think he probably wanted to say word boring, which is what I would use. And remember, in my opinion, boring when it comes to operating system is good. That's why I use Bluefin. Boring equals triple equals, just to be sure and cover the JavaScript equalization, is true. Boring is good. Boring is the only thing that should be an operating system. Not malicious to you, not exciting to you in the sense of, ooh, will it work? Not cause you consternation. It should start up and do what it's told and get out of your way.
I know there were some comments under last challenge about my choice of Linux Mint. I'm like, oh, it's not as updated as other things, or blah, 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 because the Linux community loves to just scream about stuff all the time. I wouldn't dissuade you from choosing it. I'm just kind of doing an experiment thing with Arch and enjoying it right now. So I'm going to continue on to Cashy OS, and hopefully it goes fine.
Good choice.
It is
Nothing will be
8:03,
wrong.
and I am just about to start my Bazzite
nice drive. I
installation.
used to have
Here we
something
go.
like that as
Insert.
well.
Oh wait, crap! I gotta put the SSD in. But hey, you guys like my new server rack? Ah, it's
Nice
pretty
server
cool.
rack.
And Linus made fun of me saying
Nice
I'd never
rack.
see it again in the server rack case. Now, some of you might actually ask why I'm ripping out both of my drives in my computer, when Windows is probably only installed on one. Well, one thing I won't miss about Windows is there's this really weird bug. Sometimes when you rip out one drive, after you've installed it with two in it, it will show up in the boot option in the BIOS, but it will just...
That isn't a Windows problem, that's a BIOS or UEFI problem. So on some boards it has the UEFI boot table that is a bit more quirky than others, and Windows One is Windows editions are especially quirky. But I've seen on some computers 5 different Fedoras, or like a Fedora Ubuntu Arch, Fedora Casio, stuff like that. Basically all sorts of distros, because the guy was distro hopper, and UEFI just kept the entries in. UEFI just kept the boot entries in for some reason. It's UEFI, it's weird. Thankfully it at least works. And we're at 37-minute mark. Holy fuck, is going swimmingly. Wow. So hour and a half video. Interesting.
fail to boot. I don't know how that is still a bug on Windows 11, but hey, I won't have to deal with
Not a Windows 11 bug, a UEFI bug.
that with Bazzite, hopefully.
I have CachyOS on this flash drive ready to go, but I ran into a problem. My motherboard has...
Oh yeah, also if you have a GUID partition table on both drives, it's gonna detect it if it's gonna detect it on throughout that, because well, that's also true that GUID partition table may have a bootable like have a designation for bootable flag and so on. It's a complex matter. It's not like boot entry is there because of that. It's because you have, technically speaking, bootloader on both drives.
An M.2 slot here, an M.2 slot here, here, and here. But I didn't build my system. I don't know where
Or at least a stop for the bootloader, let's be correct.
my current drive is installed. It should be installed here, but it was built by Linus's kid, so I have no idea. And my problem is, that's my system. This is the Bulbasaur PC, right? Getting to the M.2s behind this GPU is gonna be insane. Doing that without completely destroying my computer is not really possible. So hopefully I can remove this one little strip and there's no drive there and everything will be fine. But if there is a drive there, I'm screwed.
For no reason other than that I'm a sucker for punishment, I've decided to do my upgrade to Pop! OS here at Whale Land. I just gotta unplug my boot drive. I treated myself to an Optane drive a little while back. And I just gotta disable Secure Boot.
How much do you want to bet that he's going to have problems that won't be actually problems, but because he wouldn't be able to find a solution by looking, because he will be rushing, he'll get stupid ass errors, and he won't be able to solve it, which I know happens because I listen to one show. So let's
And
continue.
then hopefully this is going to be completely painless and I'll be gaming in like 15
No,
minutes.
you're using Pop! OS.
And we're off to a great start. Select your drive, can't see it. Well, I put it in a known good slot. Turns out the drive is bad. Why are these challenges always cursed?
Downside of a multi-monitor setup, this is my primary.
We're off to a great start. I think that's an indication that he should stop immediately and think of a better thing, possibly not during a freaking event. That's how I do things. I am insane. He shouldn't be.
Monitor, so we're trying to boot into the BIOS right now. So we're gonna go into Fedora. Verifying shim sbait date failed. Something has gone seriously wrong. I've done nothing. Okay, I think I saw something.
That is strange. It's USB. Also, why Fedora name for the USB? Normally the name of the USB would be UEFI USB partition, UEFI USB, or name of the USB drive, not Fedora. Please don't tell me it's an old drive. An old unformatted drive. Oh god.
Related to secure boot, it is enabled. I'm gonna
Yes,
try
shim
disabling
means secure
it.
boot, but that shouldn't be a problem with that. Also don't
This
disable
OS
secure boot.
version workstation, it's
There we go. That must be an old install, because guess what? I know that's not the case with Fedora, with Bazite. It's not Fedora 37. I won't
past
do
its
that.
end of life date. What? I downloaded it fresh from Bazite's website today.
Boom! I was right. Fedora logo. I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. I am awesome.
That's a scary warning. So I did take this drive from the office. I wonder if that's why it's showing up as LTT. Maybe I did happen to grab a drive from work that had Fedora. I won't mark that against Bazite then. That was 100% on me. Okay, we're booting up again. Hey, there we go.
Please do not be spinning
Okay,
the camera like that,
Bazite.
please.
Yes, we want to go into live ISO just so I can do the install.
feels
hey, there you go,
weird.
little Bazite logo. Oh, this monitor lit
Oh
up.
god.
Hey, there we go.
Ah,
Live
Bazite.
ISO for Bazite. How would you like to install? Oh yeah, so the drive I did grab had Fedora on it. I wonder if this was the drive I used in the Linus Torvalds video. Erase data and install.
I highly doubt, because Torvald's video was like less than a year ago, and that's Fedora 39, which had end of life 2024, which, by the way, means it was released like in 2023 or start of 2024. So I hope you didn't use that drive when doing a video with Linus Torvalds. Torvalds, or how the Finnish or Swedish say it.
I will say, I think the default background's really pretty. I might actually keep that. Kind of matches the keyboard colors, you know?
It's
While I'm waiting for an
Bazite.
install, might as well do a merch plug.
Ooh.
LTTstore.com. Oh god, I punched my other camera. LTTstore.com.
All right, no drive under there.
And the beautiful, beautiful Backlight installer, which is in reality another type of installer used by Fedora, which is installed just today, and it is really nice.
You can see an empty
Compared to
slot.
the old installer.
They didn't decorate over the screws. W. Linus's kids. Gamer time. Welcome to CashEOS. I used Rufus to flash my
That was
drive.
funny.
I got the M.2 installed,
Right choice.
and now we're here. So far, the hardest part was getting it to boot to the flash drive. I've been super interested in trying Hyperland, but I think I'm going to keep that for maybe something on my...
Good choice for this challenge, but since you're interested, do check it out. Whether you're gonna like it or not, I don't know. I personally don't. I don't like the tiling window manager shit, but who knows, you may like it.
Laptop or something that I'm more happy to just play with. I'm going to try to keep pretty much everything the same as what I'm used to, except for CashEOS, and just see how it goes. You know what? Calling an audible. Let's give it a shot.
Why not?
Lemonade, or how I first read it with my broken brain, is Limeline. Sounds cool, looks cool. Gonna go with Grub. I'm just used to it. Hey, we're in.
I would personally choose the what's its name? System deboot. That's my thing. I like system deboot, but Grub is a fine choice. Never heard of Lemine.
Everything seems okay so far. I wonder how many times Linus has bricked his install.
All right, now that I have a
Probably
working
hundreds
drive, this is
by now.
great. Prompted to set up encryption right out of the gate.
That's a
You'll
good
love
thing.
to see it. Pretty painless setup so far. Don't need this. This
Nice.
looks fine. Ooh, we're in.
Ooh,
Now I
that-
gotta play a game.
Oh, hey, there you
Cosmic.
go. Is a secure boot key added? Okay,
Ooh,
well, let's do a
fancy.
reboot. I assume I just leave it on Fedora.
That's gonna be fun because he might get scared by he might get scared by what's his name? MOK machine key, MOK, the machine key system, or technically speaking the shim keys. We'll see how he gets scared by MOK. That would be funny.
What the
There is
Fuckle is
there
it?
is
Do I have to do
before
secure
of
boot
MOK.
thing? Try this again. Error. You need to load the kernel first.
Boom, bad shim signature. Shim decided I ain't gonna work because you changed secure boot settings. That's shim for you, and that's a good thing. Reinstall now.
Okay, maybe I should read the documentation. That's the error I
Yes.
was getting, so we're going to use method B. Disable secure boot in the BIOS before proceeding, and then re-enable it after enrolling the key. I have to enter a command in the host terminal? Oh, did I mess this up? You know what? I'm going to try reinstalling it with secure
Never
boot
done
enabled
that.
this time. And, oh, maybe, I don't want to do that. It takes so long. Okay, well, let's try reinstalling Bazite from the beginning.
That's a
and
good
with
choice.
secure boot on this time, and we'll see if something's different.
I really don't understand people who go, installing system is taking so long. Messing up your system takes longer to fix most of the time. Nuke and pave. When its system hasn't ever been booted, nuke and pave. 15 minutes. So what?
All right, I've reinstalled it. Documentation says to reboot, enroll the keys.
Yes.
Yes. It's just universal blue.
Enter the password. And
I think I
That's it.
enabled it. Hey, there you go. I feel like I just went in a circle,
Ah.
but we'll let it cook. Hey, we're in. Okay, it did detect all three. I kind of have a weird one that's off to the side here, so I can like monitor chat when I do other stuff. Oh, okay. Not right now, Steam. That's kind of cool. Got Steam pre-installed. That'll be nice. Maybe I'll get a game up and running like real quick.
All right, here comes the point where we tripped up last time. Well, that was
Oh.
painless. I'm almost there, but before I can game with
what the hell? Why the hell did his screen blank out for a moment? I bet that's Cosmic.
this man, I'm gonna need voice chat. So we're getting Discord going. I already
Middle
got
of-
Left 2 installed.
middle of
Already there's some
Wayland.
slightly icky things. I have Discord
That's a Cosmic thing.
working, which is super cool. Really? All right, I'm ready to launch the game. What is this? What is this? The Linux curse might be coming for me. Wait, it magically healed itself. Magically healed itself. Well, this is messed up. I've got my Discord volume at 200%. I've got Luke's individual user.
That's a problem in general. Discord has a bit of mind of its own when it comes to audio.
Volume at 170%, and I've got my system volume at 150%, and I can barely hear anybody. No, it's not you guys, it's me. I'm just...
Player dynamics. Does it have either an audio card in? Or what the other thing it has? Or a special thing that you plug that in? Or those might be player dynamics. Yeah, they're USB things.
Experiencing Linux things, but hey, it could be worse. I could be that guy at a LAN who's not running his game in full screen. Sup, Rob? All right, just rebooted and no game volume whatsoever. What about like a YouTube video?
I don't know.
Okay.
That game.
Okay, that's loud. That's loud. That's a good sign. That is so bizarre. Okay, let's see if Discord is solved. If Discord's solved, we're good. And then Discord maybe just magically healed itself. What's up, gamers? Oh, we're good.
So did your audio just require a restart?
It's complicated. My system was set
Of
to like
course.
spit it out, so obviously that
It's
was why I was
Discord,
getting
it's
no
audio.
audio in game, but that doesn't explain why I was getting extremely low audio in Discord.
Yeah, that's strange. It's that problem of like, why isn't this working? And then why is this working? It's like, what?
Yeah, I'd rather have why isn't it working than why is it working.
You're strange fellow. I really rather have the problem of why is this working and why this isn't working. It's a lot easier to just go on if it's working than if it's not.
Oh, whoa, why did that change it? Do you see that? Since I have a dual PC set up in my server rack, this is my streaming PC that records. I was actually getting ready to record and it's not quite scaled correct. Like you can see I'm missing like half my taskbar. That was not a scaling thing. This monitor is not 4K, so I'm a little confused on why it's showing 4K as an option. I do normally...
certain capture cards do that. They give you more options than they really exist. Same with, like they give you more options. Like they give you 4K even though you're not using 4K.
Set to 120 hertz though. Well, it made everything... Oh, whoa, why did that change it? Do you see that? It's scaled properly, but you know what scaled it properly is adjusting the frame rate. If I go to 140 on my OBS capture, it's...
Capture cards are weird.
Not scaled right. But if I change it to 120 and apply it, now it's scaled appropriately. Like my scaling is the same, my resolution's the same. Now that I've got these displays configured, Steam looked like it was already installing, so let's double check that. Dude, are we gonna get a game going like that? I know it's not compatible. I'm still gonna download it because I want to try it. I won't blame any Bazite or Linux for it not working, but it's one of my go-to games.
Go
right
ahead,
now. I need
try.
to test if PUBG is gonna work.
Try
Do
to
I
all
need to
hardware.
enable
That's
the
kind of the
Proton
point.
compatibility
Just
later?
try.
Hey, it's enabled right away. Oh yeah, look, it like installed it right here. I guess while that's installing, maybe I can get some other apps going here. Discord. Hey, there it is.
doesn't work.
Oh, Discord is high risk. This app uses legacy X11 windowing system, which allows it to record all
That's good to show.
keystrokes, captures. It also has access to the internet, meaning it could send your data to outside parties. Ooh, this is very
actually a
timely.
good
Well, I
explanation.
need Discord, so I'm installing it. That warning, as scary as it probably seems to a lot of people, I think it is kind of a cool thing that they're letting you know that it might be risky. So if you're a non-experienced user going to download something, it could give you a heads up like, whoa, just so you're aware. For Discord, we already know they're stealing all our data anyways. I don't know. Whoa, you can download Edge? Holy cow, you gotta be a psychopath. High risk.
Hello. That's me. I installed Edge. I just find it better than Chrome. Simple as that. And that's the greatest of Linux. I can install whatever I want, as long as it works.
Let's go through audio while everything's installing really quick. It's showing up is huge. I hear the mic is going directly to the Rodecaster, and the Rodecaster should just pass out. Hey, it's being detected. Wow, that was really fast. Really? I'm gonna call my wife really quick. Hello.
What's a Rodecaster?
I didn't have to configure anything. That's a
audio
lot
interface.
easier than I thought it was going to be. But hey, the fact that I didn't have to troubleshoot it makes me very happy.
Just
Yep.
installed it, instantly installed OBS.
I had to restart my Rodecaster, but then it worked immediately. We'll see if the audio is fine.
Whoa, everybody's using Roadcasters. I don't even know what Roadcaster is. I'm gonna find out later.
Seems like the audio was fine. Off to bigger and better things. I'm gonna get Teams installed here because I need to do a work call. Well, the Teams call went fine, sort of. Teams is still a very annoying experience on Linux, regardless of what Linux flavor you go with. There's no official
Teams.
app. I was using
I'm just gonna
Teams
skip
for
this
Linux
part.
open source community thing. It's like fine. There's some kludginess here and there. It seems like most of the community agrees that the best way to do it these days is to just run it through the browser entirely, which I really don't prefer, but I'm going to keep fighting with Teams for Linux and see if I can get it working in a state that I would like. I would say with the like install it real quick, sign in, and it works perfectly. No, not quite, but at least they're doing it. Not like Microsoft supporting it, so I appreciate the effort. Another thing that I would say is that gaming has been perfectly fine so far. Slay the Spire is working no problem. Gaming so far going okay. No major hiccups with anything as of right now, but I'll let you know if things change.
Look the silent.
Well, Control-Alt-Delete doesn't do anything. Alt-Tab
It doesn't, yes.
allows me to switch to things, but my mouse is not there. Like I'm hearing like
Restart.
like in my ears. This is so awesome. I managed to play a game for 20 seconds. I must just be cursed. I have to be cursed at this point. Okay, I managed to find this. I'm gonna try to end the problem.
No, Linus, you're not. You're just doing things probably wrong here. My guess if you were on GNOME, this would be better on KD especially.
Process, Half-Life 2, I think. Is this, hello? Delete? Is that not gonna work? That's not gonna do anything? Yeah, I have 7 people waiting for me because I'm a special Linux snowflake right now. I don't understand why trying to do the most basicest of things, launch a Valve game on a fresh install, manages to be like this. I'm even on AMD, guys. I'm on AMD. I'm going back to Windows.
Half the time GPU doesn't matter. People don't realize that once GPU drivers are installed, what GPU you're using doesn't really change anything except performance, which, yeah.
Now, because this is just, it's not acceptable. I have to be able to play the game right now.
Okay, the last thing now, I think I'm just gonna game. Ooh, it's got a borked rating. As
Yep.
of 2 weeks ago, someone said it's
course.
borked. So,
As far as I know, this game doesn't work.
yikes. I won't blame any Bazite or Linux for it not working. Judging by how long it's taking, that's not a good sign. A month without PUBG. Okay, well, let's launch Balatro.
You're lucky.
Hey, there we go.
All right, we finished the round. It's the next day, and I'm gonna see if I can figure out what the heck was going on there. Off to a great start.
You're on a LAN, you won't figure out what's going on because you don't have time. And that's a cosmic issue.
All right, I'm just playing single player now. Let's see how this goes. All right, this is how far I made it last time.
Now you are playing with power. I just gotta
Try running it in Vulkan. Unfortunately, there's no in-game setting for it, but apparently this will do the trick.
like you gotta break through this wall.
And there it is, that was the fix. Not complicated, but definitely frustrating when you consider that this is a first-party Valve title and the bugginess is so immediately apparent when you try to play the game. And there's also apparently been an issue since at least July of last year. To be clear, none of this is meant to discount the experiences that
Wait.
other people have.
This is using Proton. At least this one is using Proton.
It's just to also acknowledge that not everybody.
And I think ProtonDB only has Proton version, so doesn't Left 4 Dead 2 have, it's a Valve game, so it's a Linux port, probably. So he might have been using Linux port, not the ProtonDB Proton version. Could be.
Has such a seamless experience. With Left 4 Dead solved, our next challenge is going to be Helldivers 2. We're going to be playing with the VIPs. I've never played before, so I'm finding
Fun.
so much weird stuff.
Oh,
Dude. It like turned into
more
two black
cosmic
windows that
bugs.
then turned into this. Oh, whoa, check this out. Why am I cursed like this? Opening cinematic played okay, and this looks promising, other than the weird white line that I have at the left and top for some reason.
Why are you cursed like that? because you are using Pop OS and Cosmic Desktop. It's not you, it's Pop. Pop exclamation mark OS underscore OS, which I didn't like the first time he used it, and I don't like it now.
Is the mouse supposed to do anything?
It's supposed to do something.
Hold on, here's an idea. Okay,
Hell
so
Darvis
look
is
up,
back
we can
again.
rebind that. Let's go left click.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, controller works. I guess I'm gaming on a controller, boys.
So I'm going to install
Maybe if he unplugged the controller, maybe it would work.
Dolphin. Oh, wait. Dolphin's the name of their, like, the file manager, right? Oh, speaking of files, I should try to mount my network share. So network, shared folders, SMB. Oh, dude, is it going to find it for me? Whoa! It found it for me. Hell yeah.
That's
Can I pin
nothing
them to the
strange.
side? Oh, I can. Oh, that's kind of nice. That was really easy to mount my network share. And these are
He will explain in part 2 or maybe the conclusion, but at the time he was not aware that this was not mounting. It made a shortcut on the side. It came back to bite him the next day. Yes, what he did, he made a shortcut for what is essentially just setup of it. And even Windows can find you your drives, and even Windows, it's not just like opening it to mount it. But yeah, oh look, he's using KeePass X, I think.
SMB set as default app. Hey, there you go. Hey, I set DLC as a default app. I'm feeling pretty decent right now. I have my audio working. I have a game running. I have my SMB share mounted. The most painful roadblock was by far like getting it to this point. A quick recap on what happened with the Secure Boot thing was I turned Secure Boot off because I thought that's what it needed when the Fedora drive that I accidentally grabbed from work was asking for it. Then when I installed Bazite, it was, hey, turn Secure Boot on. I don't have it on, I have your key. But after I installed it, I think I might have gotten a little bit confused or chose the wrong thing when it asks me to enroll it. I needed to make sure that Secure Boot was on first, and now that it was on when I installed it, it was pretty painless. I do think it's a little weird that they still wanted me to type Universal Blue when I was enabling the keys.
That is to ensure that the person that you are actually the person behind the computer. So if the MOK didn't work the way it does, I remotely could install any driver I wanted, and you would reboot the system, and you would, and not any driver, but any key for any driver, and you would reboot and you wouldn't know the difference. Now you have to attest it is. You acknowledge the installation of the keys.
I'm not really sure why. I do wonder how much it'll help me in the future if there's a software or a game that requires Secure Boot. I wonder if Linus is going to have as smooth of a time, or if his is going to be a little bit worse.
Well, this is remarkable. I'm up to 3 Steam windows now. Nope, can't type. After I figured out the control issues, we did manage to get through the entire Helldivers mission with no further complications. So while I wouldn't call
what has he done? Rebooted the game?
Today a success, it also wasn't a complete failure, and I think I'm ready to do a little bit more Googling, learn a bit more, figure out what the heck is going on.
You should do a lot more Googling and learn even more.
With my Steam interface here. Now it is worth noting that while I am obviously showing a lot of the problems I'm having today, I'm not trying to make Linux look bad or anything, and there were...
I think you are. At least you unconsciously might be doing that. I think consciously he isn't trying to do it, but I think unconsciously there is a bit of that, sadly.
Aspects of the experience that were much better. For instance, setting up Pop OS involved none of my data being given away. And maybe more importantly, if you don't like futzing about with things, is I had to do nothing to get all of my various devices working. No going to the manufacturer's website, downloading drivers, none of that nonsense. The convenience of the Cosmic Store and it being something I might actually want to use, unlike the Windows Store, pretty nice. And so far, I've got to give it credit for being pretty darn intuitive, other than maybe the pressing the power button to reach my settings.
That's pressing the start button to reach your shutdown button or any other Windows system. Like That's actually normal. This is just that's completely normal.
That has like Windows 95, you press start to shut down kind of energy.
It's Windows XP.
With all that said, I'm excited about the next month, and I hope you guys are excited to come along with us, and excited to hear about our sponsor.
Yeah, my beer is empty, so let's talk about it. First off, thank you guys for watching, and now that we don't have a Linus's face over on screen, let's talk about what we saw. Well, in my opinion, this is gonna be a very interesting series, especially for Linus's side, where I think he will be having so many problems. Do I think Luke and Elijah will have many problems? No. Luke's gonna be done, no problems at all. Maybe one or two. Let's leave some spacing. Where Elijah's gonna have a few problems, not because of Bazide, because just things happen and he seems less prepared as Luke. So this is gonna be a fun series. I think Linus has done the wrong thing, has done himself the service and Linux community this service by once again picking Pop! OS that he already knew it's very likely problematic. He didn't do enough research before diving heading into what is essentially something completely new. And to me, this sounds very much like how previous series went. And I know what he pretends he's trying to do. That he's just trying to be like every other guy who just jumps headlong. Problem is, you have Linus. You have and I'm talking directly with him now. He might actually see this. You have a huge following, 16.8 million subscribers. So anything you say does affect a community like Linux, and does affect whether some people will start using Linux or not. So any kind of this, you're not trying your best by doing enough research, is really bad. And I'm gonna say this in my language. We have a saying, "Also grysomo enkat na led," which roughly translates to even donkey goes on ice only once. And he should have thought about what he was installing, why he was installing that. And since he had all the time, like, yes, he probably only showed a small fraction of what he did on screen. Still, just installing randomly Pop! OS without doing necessary amount of research, and doing something like this, installing is bad, is doing a disservice to the community no matter what. I hope he does better in future parts. I really hope, but based on the previous series, I don't hold my hopes very much up. So let's see how it will go. But then again, Luke and Elijah are gonna have a grand old time. So let's at least give a round of applause to them for choosing good distros. And before I go, I should probably point out that you should subscribe and like and comment, and check out the original video down in the description down below if you're not among the one of those few million people probably by the time this goes up that already watched. Well, you watch it now, and you're gonna watch it soon again, because you're a good internet citizen, and you're gonna watch the original video as well, right? Well, I won't be stopping you for much longer, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye.